Hi, I'm Brooke Allen for Civic Center TV, and we are at Scotch Elementary School in West Bloomfield. We are talking about the annual Winter Pin Contest that helps our children's fund. And we are here with Debbie and Randy, and they're going to tell us how it all got started, where it all began, and who it helps. Debbie, why don't you go ahead and tell us how the contest began?
The contest started about 17 years ago. We have 17 little pins and some greeting cards to show for that. Through our children's fund in order to raise money to help families in need at the holiday time. So at the beginning of the year in September, all of the art teachers in the K through 8th grades tell the children to take an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper, and they're asked to design a snowman. And then as a group, our children's fund board members get together and we go through all of those designs. Sometimes there's upwards of about 500 of them. And we pick our winner, which is Abigail this year, and then we also pick our runners-up. We have somewhere between 12 and 14 honorable mentions that go along with that. So once the winner's picture is selected, it's then sent out to a company, happens to be in China, that makes them into pins, and you're wearing a pin.
I am.
And then those pins go on sale throughout the district and all of our offices here for $10 a pin. They're on sale typically through February, and the monies collected through the sale of those pins help our families in need in the district.
And what does that money go for?
The money generally goes for Target gift cards, and it's for the families to buy food for the holidays, to buy gifts for their children, whatever they see fit. We don't dictate what the families are going to spend the money on. We just want them to have a little bit of extra spending money.
And Randy, tell us how those families are selected.
The families are selected. It's a very confidential process, and the funds raised go to children in the West Bloomfield School District. So all the funds raised, the children must attend and the families must attend our schools. And they place calls to their school social worker. The school social worker identifies the need. And again, it's a confidential process. We just know what schools, how many families, how many children. And this year, the monies raised helped almost 200 children from about 100 families. Mm-hmm. And each child does get a gift card. And again, as Debbie said, it's for food and clothing, but as well as gifts for the holidays. So it just puts a smile on everybody's face. There's a lot of families needing financial assistance in our school district, and the generosity of the businesses, PTOs, our schools, to give to these families really is amazing.
So this has been a program that has actually been going on for quite a while. You have a lot of pins in your lap, so tell us a little bit about the history.
Well, Children's Fund is it's almost 2 decades, and Children's Fund was started by one of our board members 2 decades ago, Avery Murav, who saw a need to help assist families needing financial assistance with emergency needs, and that's kind of how Children's Fund started. And one of their programs was holiday help at the holidays, as you see. And so 17 years ago, they came up with the idea to do a contest and with the pins. And these are all the pins, starting from 1998 up here, and we go to 1999, 2000, and it runs down. At the bottom there is Abigail's, and then starts at the top and goes down again. So this is the complete collection.
And she's the only one that has that.
They're all amazing and beautiful, and I've been privileged along with Debbie for quite a while to be able to select those winners and the runners-ups. And they're presented, they're honored at the school board meeting in October or November, and Children's Fund makes a big deal about it, and the kids come and they're so proud of their drawing, and they're even more proud of the fact that they're helping others, that their drawings, and by wearing those as pins, goes to help children that may sit right next to them in the classroom.
And they'll never know.
And they'll never know.
And that's probably a pretty important factor.
It's very important. We also have a program at the beginning of the year. It's backpacks, backpacks and back to school clothing, to where we would give out a certain amount of filled backpacks at the schools. And the principals, if they knew a child that needed a new backpack, needed supplies, no questions asked, they would get it. Back to school clothing runs the same way through the social workers, very confidential, if there's a need. And what Children's Fund does is they honor those requests, they get the gift cards out so that children can come to school with new clothing, feel good about themselves, be ready to learn, because that's ultimately the most important thing to be successful academically and socially. We take care of field trips,
summer school times of
summer
requests.
school times, things that have to do with the academic health of our children.
So the Snowman Pin is actually not just the only thing you do. Our Children's Fund does
all year round.
All year round.
Right, because children have needs all year round, whether it's, as Randy was referring to, an enrichment program after school. It could be summer school. It could be a band camp. It could be helping with prom. We've done that once or twice.
Graduation requirements, caps and gowns. There's a lot of different ways that Children's Fund helps, and we're always trying to raise money throughout the year. This at the holiday time is probably our biggest push. You find most people, come out and really need that financial assistance at the holidays, but also all year around. There are a lot of emergency needs as well, and we do try to step in at any time. And our social workers are really the integral part of this, because they're the liaison with the families, who again, we don't know. We hope all the needs are identified. Teachers can identify those needs, the principals, all those people are in the classroom closest to these children, and if they think that there is a need, they'll go to the school social worker and let the school social worker handle it in that manner.
Can other families approach a social worker?
Of course.
Absolutely, absolutely. If anybody ever think that there's a need or a family in need, they should definitely approach their principal or their social worker, and then it'll come through to us. And it's a process too, people have to qualify, so that we make sure that we're giving those funds to who needs it most.
So how would somebody do that? If I knew a family that I thought needed help.
Generally speaking, you would approach the social worker and you would explain to the social worker why you thought the family that you're referring could use some help from our Children's Fund. The social worker then hopefully knows the family, and they would decide whether or not they could approach the family. If in fact the social worker felt comfortable they could approach the family, suggest that our Children's Fund might have funds available to help with a specific need. One thing that we see often is in terms of eyeglasses. There's oftentimes children get vision screened at school. They then need eyeglasses, and the family needs help in purchasing those eyeglasses. So the social worker is able to identify that. The family then fills out a financial need form, and once they meet all the requirements, that request is then sent to us via email, and we generally approve or disapprove at that point.
And how long does that take?
About 12 hours.
Really?
Oh yeah, very quickly. Emails go out, and then we're all, fortunately or unfortunately, have email on our phones, and it takes 2 out of our committee of 8 to approve.
So a very quick process.
Very quick. And I would have to say, years ago, before we had phones and emails on our phones, it took a little quicker. Let's call it 48 hours. We would try to, come home, access those emails, and make sure that we could turn it around quite quickly. Now, though, as Debbie mentioned, we've got the emails on our phones. We know to look. And we have, bylaws and things in place where the social worker in our social action department or social services department, it takes 2 of us to approve or disapprove. If we need more dialogue, something more complicated, we would all convene together at a meeting. But usually she is able to, approve those requests right away. And our school social workers also are able to assist families of where to go, for help. Children's Fund is kind of like that last resort. You have nowhere else to go. You've tried a few other resources, and so that's where the social workers are very good about that. And the secretary at our special services building, who's really wonderful and really fields a lot of this, because again, it's purely confidential, so families can know that they can do this in a confidential manner.
Right.
Also, it takes the stress off that we can respond so quickly. They can get the matter taken care of, and hopefully the child is no worse for the wear and doesn't know what the parent had to do.
Right. Because you have that whole humiliation factor. Correct. And then that just adds so much stress.
To keep their dignity, intact, and the children as well. A lot of children don't know when their families are receiving financial assistance. Parents don't necessarily want to let children know. They want them to, be able to come to school and to be happy and learn, be with their peers. And so that's what Children's Fund allows. But throughout the year, we also, we are always accepting funds. We have tribute cards. It's a $5 minimum contribution to be given to, and what we like to promote is teachers in the holidays. Our teachers who do a wonderful job with our students and administrators, they love nothing more than to get a tribute to our Children's Fund in their honor. And so these cards can be purchased at all our district offices, and the monies throughout the year come in, whether it's in memoriam, in honor of, in appreciation of. I have a stack at home that we purchase all the time, and that's something that we like to give, and people really appreciate that. And that's where the money can keep coming in, and that we can keep giving it out and assisting families really throughout the year. But as Debbie said, this is the biggest push, and it does. It takes a lot of different charities. Every one of them is very, very deserving. But our heart is here, you know, in West Bloomfield and assisting West Bloomfield School District children.
And I think you told me, Debbie, that you carry these snowman pins in your purse. So if anybody runs into you at the store or at the salon or something.
Or you were just at a meeting, you know, working on the other committees that I do work on in the city, it's, you know, everyone's got something that they want to show and share, and the pins are a great thing to do that for. And everyone's happy. The price point is right, and people are happy to contribute.
And it's not just a Christmas or a Hanukkah pin. It's a winter pin.
It's a winter pin.
It's a winter pin, and they're available through February.
They are available through February.
Okay.
And we even have some of the older pins. I must say that we do have not the oldest 3, but we do have some if people would like to purchase those, and we usually work out a different price point. But some people have requested some past year's pins. Past years, as Debbie mentioned, we did greeting cards for a couple years, and we do have some of those that continually get used, which is really nice. There's no dates on them.
Right.
So those are for.
Do you have a website?
We do. You can find our Children's Fund both on Facebook, and you can find us on the West Bloomfield School District homepage, which is wbsd.org. There's a link under there just for our Children's Fund.
And then these pins are available at any school, correct?
Any school, and as well as the administration building.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, and what a great cause, and what a beautiful pin.
Thank you.
Our Children's Fund has been hosting the Holiday Help Snowman Pin Contest for 17 years. This year's winner is a 5th grader in Mrs. Mason's class at Scotch Elementary, Abigail David. So tell us a little bit about your design. I'm actually wearing the pin. Thank you so much for that.
You're welcome.
And how long did it take you to create this?
Well, it took me about like 3 hours because I made the background in art, and that's about an hour. It took me to make the rest 2 hours at home.
And did you do it by construction paper, crayons?
Yeah.
Tell me how you designed it.
I did it with construction paper because I think it's more cleaner than using colored pencils, because sometimes you color everywhere, sometimes there's white showing, but with paper it's all just one way and there's no white.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about your actual design.
Well, I have 3 snowmen. It's father, a mother, and a little boy, and then there's an igloo with the penguin on top of it and with the backdrop of mountains and snow falling from the sky.
And you actually were a runner-up how many times?
2 times.
So 2 times, and you won this year.
Yeah.
And you told me over the weekend that you were planning on winning this contest again.
Yes.
So you have high aspirations, don't you?
Yes.
The Snowman Fund actually goes to help children and charities. Tell me a little bit about that.
I like doing stuff for charity, so I'm happy that the money that with the people who buy the pins go to the charities.
So I heard that you're a student leader
Yeah.
at Scotch.
Yeah, I actually am a safety and a safety captain too.
And how long have you been doing that?
Well, we just started 2 months ago with the voting and speeches.
And you enjoy that?
Yeah.
That is excellent. And you plan on doing that for
Yeah.
a while?
Yeah.
Good for you.
And at the end of the year, any safeties that's still on the squad gets to go bowling.
Oh, well, there you go. Well, thank you so much for joining us. And anything else you'd like to add? Any advice for kids out there who want to win this contest next year? Think they can beat you?
They have to try really hard if they want to beat me, but just got to keep trying if it doesn't turn out right, because my penguin, I had to fix it like 10 times because it was not working.
So you just got to keep on working at it,
Yeah.
and eventually you'll get it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Abigail.
You're welcome.
Wrapping up the 17th Annual Snowman Pin Contest from Scotch Elementary in West Bloomfield and for Civic Center TV, I'm Brooke Allen. To purchase Abigail's award-winning snowman pin and to support our Children's Fund, visit any West Bloomfield school. Or for more information on our Children's Fund, visit wbsd.org.